Hello everybody, welcome back to Motorsport Manager 2017, the second season of the career here. Create your own team, and we are in the 5th race out of 12. About to enter the middle of the year, and this is usually the part where we start to struggle a little bit. That definitely did happen in the last race. So let's see how things are going to go for this trip to Belgium. And we have Luigi Perna of Gazzetta dello Sport. Jamie Chadwick, thinking of working with her in the future. Interesting, anything can happen in motorsport. Fastest one was 6.812 seconds. It was the fastest. 2 mistakes, none of them were particularly dangerous. And after action reports have been done with the offending crew members. Okay. So, in other words, letting us know who screwed up and how we're going to fix it. Landon Holt, new driver scouting. Great marketability, but unfortunately his braking sucks, his consistency is horrible, is just not really good enough. Scouting, let's take a look at our pit crew before we move on with everything else. Now the question is, are we going to get the extra +1 that we got for everybody last time out? Well, the only thing Akori's decent at is refueling, which we don't care about. I think, yeah, 80 stamina and not very good stats there. These two, 71 and 72, I want to get rid of them as well. So we could have like a 10 on the tires, 11 on the rear jack, and then a 10 across the board. Potentially, if they actually worked out. And we are short one person from where I thought we were. Okay. So we definitely need to switch out the rear jack here. Harami has had it in terms of stamina. I wonder if the stamina went down further from making a mistake. In either case, let's get Perry out there. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted... Oh, you're on the front. See, I'm looking at the wrong one. Front jack. And we don't have anybody better than 10. Hernandez is definitely our backup there. Okay, so definitely need to get Duval out. I could go with Ogilby or Swayston. Ogilby's got more stamina. And that should take care of everybody for the moment. But I do think I want to hire Benamar here. And let's see if we're getting accurate numbers again. No, see, the 10 across the board, and they were at 9 in the pool. So for some reason, it's showing all those as 1 point below, which is really annoying, but let's have to get used to it. And that'll give us another backup option. I think I want to just stick with what we've got then there. And our overall time is not going to be quite as fast as it was. We're still there in the middle of the pack. Let's do some car repairs. We're going to get some more sponsors in. Performance and reliability improvements. And of course, these are not going to be as good as they might have been because of our poor performance in the last race. But team marketability is gradually going up. So let's take a look in the shop where the engine speed is crucial, and then acceleration, deceleration. 2 engines are fine. We're working on the brakes to get them up to 85%. Gearboxes already are there. Figured why work on those 2 spoilers when we can work on the new one. And then the suspensions. I don't think I want to work on this spoiler, because we're about to finish another one. Let's see how that plays out. Let's definitely get that brake done. And let's see, the next spoiler is going to come out. I do want... I'm not sure how to split the time here. I'm going to split it 50-50 for the moment. I'm not sure if we're going to be developing more suspensions because of the GMA vote, so let's go ahead and put those out there along with the brakes. And yeah, I don't want to work on that new spoiler because we got another one coming. So I think that's where I want to be, right there. Oh, let's throw a party for him. Like, the card would be... We could get away with it, but... New hire. Let's go ahead and do that. And there's our new spoiler. We can take a look at the differences there now. And that's going to max us out at 276 compared to 236 for the previous one that we built. And let's design more. So, there, there, and there. And that'll give us a max spoiler. 23 days, so it'll be after the race, 600K. We're going to want to get these ready. And the new spoiler, because that one will take a while. So I think we want to switch to here. Then gradually yank those out. It's enough time, we might be able to get that spoiler ready for use. And it's not of huge importance in this race. But still, let's get them ready. Not quite there. Just go a day at a time. Take those two out. So the only thing we got left is that suspension and then this spoiler for now. Pankiewicz is doing 17 years old. She's released a cookery book. The dessert-themed tome contains recipes for marshmallows, candy chicanes, and under-tray bake. I've always enjoyed eating food. Holy so, yeah, I'd be incredulous about that too. One lick of my lollipop, man, you'll be hooked. Lapping it up, desserts by Pankiewicz is now at all good retailers. That is, oh, that's some terrible puns there. -5 fitness, plus 25 marketability. Not too happy about that, because her marketability is fine. In any case, we're stuck with it. How long is that going to last? 15 weeks, unfortunately. Yuck. Well, how much longer on this? 5 weeks on that. So maybe by the next race, probably going to wait another one after that. Ugh. Let's go one more day. There we go. Take that out. And then you're going to be done before the race. I'll probably... You know, I could just switch some more over into improving that engine. I think that's what I want to do. I just want to get this improved enough to start the race. And I don't want to work on the reliability here because it's not going to be a max spoiler. The performance, it's not going to be a max spoiler. Just work on the one max engine. So, let's see. If this is going to... I want to get this to 85%. I want to do about 2/3 of the work it would require to get it ready. I think that's where I want to be with that. Scouting report complete. 72%, 3-star. Pretty solid all-around guy. Let's see what your price would be. Yeah, be fairly high, but this is the type of guy we might want to go forward with to improve beyond our current drivers down the road. And still a fair amount of scouting slots open. Alright, let's see. We want to drop this down one more. Well, no. I think 10 is still the right spot for now. Ardennes, 33 laps, a little over 3.5 miles, fairly long. Strong engines are key, and of course we're doing pretty well on that. Tire wear is pretty good. Like to focus on it more for next year. And that would be nice, but again, money will determine that. Don't know if I'll be able to. Okay, so we'll need to get to another 10%. I think we're going to drop this down again to 9. Go a couple more days. DTM is still running at the Black Sea, even though we knocked it out of our schedule. Sport Team app expect to do well again with Silvestro. Chadwick, I think we're going to follow up with another win. They're buoyant, looking forward to another great weekend, and struggling Zango Motorsport. So nothing about us, that's fine. Okay, we only need to get another 3% out of this. Let me just bump it down to about there. May or may not be enough, but there we go. See where we got to. 86%. That ended up being just about perfect, I think. Now, what do we want to put more reliability into? Since we're basically done with this, let's just put the whatever little bit of effort we're going to get into this one. And then have most of the assistance go here. So that engine almost finished. Let's see how we're... Oh, let's refit our parts first. So we need to adjust the spoilers. So that will tick Hughes off, so then we'll go this way. Okay, so Hughes expected 23rd, Pankiewicz expected 24th. No change there. Huh. It really... Make sure I'm where I want to be. It looks like it made our spoilers worse. Yeah, 152 is better than that one. Do have a better spoiler. Okay. We are at 3rd in our engines. Last in brakes. 11th in the suspensions, which are still stock. And last in the spoilers, despite the improvements. So they just... But we've got a lot of room to improve those spoilers. We could boost that up. Let's hope we do. And the improvement that we made, like going from 152 to 171, actually we took out the one that was 112. But still, that's not a huge gain until we actually work on getting that performance out there. Okay, now we added the Citrix here, so now we are looking for a fixed. Yeah, 8th or above, no. So we're looking for this. 776 per race, or this one, which is considerably less. It's a longer deal with a nice upfront amount, but this is going to be like 650,000 a race or something. So Randstad is going to be the better deal for us. There we go. Our income is up to almost 1.2 million even without the sponsored bonus. So let's see what we've got going on here in Ardennes. We could take either one. We're going to stick with Citrix. And Experian is 19th or above. Hold on, let me... Okay, so we still have 3 races left on that one. And that's just kind of, you know, dead weight for the moment. 24th, 23rd. Supposed to be clear and pretty warm. Then heavy rain and moderate temperatures and fairly warm here. I think we're probably going to be looking at soft tires, but it depends on how we finish in qualifying. Oh, and if it's going to be raining qualifying, let's hope we manage that better than last time. That was a big problem in Beijing. Well, we're going to have rain right away for practice. Isn't that lovely? Hughes has the better form for practice. It's telling me anyway. So we'll put Kari in the first car, Hughes in the second. Pretty significant rain. A little bit heavy for inters, but I'm still going to stick with them because inters usually a better bet than wets in terms of getting stuff ready for the race. So let's get a little more speed out there. And Hughes wants lower speed corners, wants more understeer. Speed can stick about there. Got to adjust him a little bit more in that case. 3.4 for Kari. Nope, switch to race trim. 6.9 for Hughes. That's not the 10 that was predicted. But it's a lot better than Pankiewicz was looking. Hughes out first and already form dropping a bit. And then out comes Kari. This being one of the longer tracks, we're probably just looking at level 1. May just be a level 1 and get your setup ready type of deal. Now we're into wets territory. That should only last for about a lap. Then you can see that it's going to drop back again. The question is it going to get dry soon enough to get, a dry tire up to level 1? And I don't think it will. So I think we're kind of stuck on the tires here. See, it's taken well over 2 minutes to complete this first lap on these wet tires. Both cars liking the speed balance of the gear ratios. Kari wants more weight in the front and is driving like absolute crap. Hughes, though, liking the ballast, is actually seeing some improved form. And I don't see any way that we're going to get a tire boost here. Wants more handling. Okay, let's see. I think we want to come in now. Switch to the soft tires and try to wrap up what we're looking at here. Mostly making setup adjustments. I think we're just going to be doing start and stops for the rest of this. No further rain that I can see. Nice beginning. %. That's a heck of a start. And I'm just going to leave the handling where it is so that I can knock out what I need for the other areas. Kari, it'd be nice if you'd start driving okay, but 80%. That's too far. Thinking maybe about there. You said you wanted more steering. So let's give it a little bit more speed. Something like that. See if that does anything for you. Oh, and I didn't change the tires. That was a less than brilliant move there on my part. That'll cost me even more time, of course, going out on dry track. Still got cars out there on wet tires during all this. So I suppose we can just be happy that... Okay, so Kari likes it. Hughes is like, you moved the ballast the wrong way. Be able to get through at least one more change, and maybe two. Down to 86%. Poor, great, and great. Okay, so maybe a bit more speed. We want cornering to be close to the max. So let's start there. Yeah, try that out. Same tires. Everything's great except for the handling. Just gotta fix that. I had a feeling Kari might be wrong, and in fact was. So that was okay, and this is poor. So we want handling to be up in that general direction. We've got to adjust this to compensate. Let's try it about there for now. And off we go with Hughes. And you can come in. should be able to get out there to have enough for one more reading. Okay, we nailed that. Up to 96%. We're really close. So we need to get a little bit more oversteer, and then on the speed we were good. Great and great. So try to go in between those two on the speed. Just down a little bit on the speed. That could be it right there. Yeah, I want to try that. Won't have quite as much time for a practice driver, but we don't need any because he's at 99%, so he's just going to go right back out there. Should be close on the setup, giving us a decent shot at qualifying. That's the good news. The bad news, of course, is that we're only going to get to level 1 and nothing on the tires. So we definitely have all kinds of flexibility on what tires we're going to use for the race. Look at these drivers, like, still out on wets. That's just foolish. Hughes not quite there, but really close. So we may have to settle for a slightly off speed balance. Middle of the pack is, of course, not trustworthy at all given the weather conditions. We'll have to see how qualifying goes. Decker getting the headlines. We've got a fan here saying, wants to see us win for years to come, fan for life. And then somebody else saying that we are okayish. Well, guess what? The win for years to come, you got to win once first. Yeah, and so now we're not even getting the rain that we were expecting for qualifying. This was the day it was supposed to be heavy rain. Shows what our weather prognosticators know. It is cool. They predicted that correctly. And we've got a whole lot of nothing to even use. Alright, so what about Hughes? 97%. Good. Great. 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 Okay, so I want to try bringing that top speed down just a bit. That's probably a little bit too much. I'm just going to try that. If that doesn't improve it, I may leave it. I don't like 97%, but I don't know where to move this to improve it. So now, do we have time for 2 attempts? And we don't. So I could send Hughes out on a start and stop. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. And then have Pankiewicz go first on the actual attempts. There's no reason for her to go out. And his form is so high. Yeah, his form is so good right now, I'm not even going to do a start and stop. I'm just going to have him get a time. Because the track will get faster later, but the thing about that is, I don't think I want to mess around. His form will probably be lower later to the point where it's not going to be even a better time. Could be wrong about that. That's where I'm going with. Now, Pankiewicz doesn't need to go out. Let's say like maybe 3.5 minutes. Send her out. Her form is bad, so hopefully that will improve at some point. Yeah, and there's Hughes at 10. I don't want to learn anything. Your car is already as good as it's going to get. Of course, going through the winding turns here that are iconic feature of the forested Ardennes. See what kind of pace Hughes can set. Should be able to send Pankiewicz at about 3 minutes. Yeah, at 99%. Got the right tires. No reason why at 3 minutes she couldn't go. Unless the... Oh, the weather's coming. Hold on. How long is this going to last? I don't know. I'm going to wait it out. See whether I want to just switch her to inters or what. But I didn't even think about that. Now it's going to get wet soon. Hughes is... The question is it going to slow him down enough? He could be on the pole or he could be at the back, and I just don't know how this is going to play out. Where is he now? Yeah, he's going through the roughest part. I'm going to put her on inters, I think. Well, we'll see. It's gonna drop. Yeah, it's gonna drop, so it's gonna almost dry out again. I'm gonna send her out at 3 on dry tires, I think. Yeah, it looks like it's still gonna keep. It's what I'm gonna. I don't know if this is right, but I'm gonna send her out at 3 on dry tires. There we go. He's pretty happy with a 2.5 minute lap. Let's see how that ends up turning out. And here comes Pankiewicz, trying to get around in time. And boy, I almost wonder if I waited a little bit too long with her, if she's even going to make it around the track. Oh, and then the water's going to spike anyway. Super. I thought it was going to stop. This is just qualifying. The last couple of events has been nuts. And Pankiewicz's form is rising, but she's going to have absolutely terrible traction. With super soft tires on a wet track. Oh well. I gave it my best attempt, and I couldn't do it. Now, look at, of course, Hughes staying in first. So I think we're going to get another cheap 2-point pole position. But the thing is, I also think Pankiewicz is probably going to be last. Matter of fact, I pretty much guarantee it now. The track is soaked. It's wetter than anybody else had it. As she starts her final lap. Nobody else doing anything but coming in. Okay, let's just speed this up, because this is going to be utter dreck. Pencil her in. So we're going to have the first and the last place drivers. Which is almost hard to do. But we're going to do it. Yeah. So several seconds behind everybody and then ahead of everybody. Okay. So for the race, that means I have no idea. I don't think anybody else does either. Jake Hughes, serious hot lap. Thanks for all the support. The extra 10% always helps. And it's going to rain to start the race. How wet is it? Next question. Rain, then off, then more rain. Based on what I see there, I think we want inters. And I'm not sure. It's going to be rough in terms of where we're going to take this. Like, oh, and we made Hughes' car worse. It's still 97%. Still, I think I like that 97% better. Gonna go with that. Stick with the inners. What kind of temperature? It's pretty low temperature. Okay, let's attack with the tires. High fuel burn. The thing is, I don't know how long it's going to rain, but I'm going to guess it's a short, and we want to get as much out of the tires as we can. I don't know. Of course, we've got to watch our fuel. So Hughes with an 8 form on the pole, getting us those 2 cheap points. And Pankiewicz at the very back. Sure doesn't look like she'll finish ahead of him today. Boy, that is blowing by him is Giovinardi. It's not the start we wanted, Mr. Hughes. Everybody out on inners. De Silvestro behind Hughes. Pankiewicz at 7, Hughes at 8.4. I can't argue with the driver form. Looks like we're going to lose the number 2 spot, then we got it back, and now looking like we're going to lose it again. So Hughes sliding to 3rd. I'm going to move both drivers down to push. Nope, make that neutral. I'm going to go with push on the gas for 2 laps and then back off. We may not even get away with that. Okay, so we're dropping the tire temps, go back up to push. How are we looking at on the... It's going to keep raining. So far as we can tell, it gets slightly wetter. We want to stay out here with what we've got. Let's go neutral. And Pankiewicz has moved up a couple spots now to 22nd. Let's take a look at that. One of the drivers behind are DuPont being investigated and is given a drive-through penalty, so DuPont and Richard hooked up. Car's slingshotting around Hughes, so I definitely want to keep him going on the accelerated driving. May pay for it later, but I still want to do it. Tarquini is going to come in for a drive-through penalty. Let's go for a brief bit of push with Hughes here. Then back to neutral. So 5th and 22nd. And now we've got to go back to medium. So Hughes probably going to lose more time. But he's driving fantastic, so that is a thing in our favor. It's drying out, but it's going to go back wet again. No sign that it's going to stop raining anytime early, so I might want to hang out with neutral tires. See, how long are these supposed to last? Supposed to last a long time, almost enough for the whole race. Right now, we are very tentatively going for a one-stopper. But even at that, yeah, even at a one-stopper, we'd be able to push them pretty hard. Pankiewicz ahead of Richard now. So Pankiewicz slowly moving up the field. That's encouraging. 5th and 21st. Not terrible. And if we stayed here, we'd be moving up one spot to 6th. With Hughes holding in 10th. Pushing some on the tires, and I want to start watching now the fuel. Both drivers 0.35 to gain after 3 laps. Pankiewicz not liking being stuck behind Nagy, but I don't know there's any way to avoid it. Look at that, 8.2 and 10. Can't say the drivers aren't doing their part. Gilles Venardi and De Silvestro battling up front, then Decker and Bonanni, and then we've got Hughes, who has a solid, gap, not a huge gap, but the 2.5 there. So it looks like I may be able to stay there as long as he keeps driving totally in the zone. And still no sign of the rain going away. Unfortunately, there is also no sign of our fuel situation fixing itself. I would rather back off the fuel later in the race, given the choice. Pankiewicz right between drivers. I'd rather not push the tires till we get a little more water on the track. But Hughes is actually pulling away from Shedden. I'm still going to hold off on doing anything with the fuel. Pankiewicz says going for the pass on Nagy, so let's boost those tires and give it every chance it has. Getting to the outside, not actually the best deal through that turn, but if we can stay inside through this one, go neutral, are we going to hold it? It looks like we do, so Pankiewicz getting another position up to 20th. And now, of course, the water's starting to come back out. I sort of forgot about the whole weight on the pushing the tires deal. I don't see any sign yet of the water going away. Pankiewicz still driving solidly, not spectacularly, and Hughes is driving spectacular. Two-second lead over Friends, who has passed Shedden. So that's a bit of a concern. And we are very slowly getting some of the fuel back. We shouldn't need to pull that much back later in the race, but it looks like we are going to need to grab some. It might end up being like a 10th short or something. And I think Friends is now catching us. Pankiewicz ahead of Nagy for 19th, or was. Not anymore. Okay, so that was a brief pass there that didn't actually pan out. One of the drivers ahead, locking up. And then there's a question of here is, like, do we pit at the halfway point, and then what happens if we have to switch our tires? Oh, Pankiewicz locks up. Super. Alright, let's go push and try to hold off these cars. Doggone it. Already lost a spot. Boy, she is fading like a... just getting blown by here. That's not what I had in mind for this lap, Victoria. You lost 2 spots. I almost get the impression you're lucky you didn't lose more. Gotta go back to neutral. But I'm wondering, like, if we pit at the halfway point, what happens if the rain dies with 5 laps to go? Then we've got to make a second stop. But, you know, I think I've got to assume reasonably steady weather. Or do I? Do I try to leg it out and see what happens? I don't know which way is better. But for the moment, I think I'm going to bet on staying out on the track. So I'm going to go with neutral. I'm going to stick with neutral on both tires. Try to start conserving the tires now. Stay out here as long as I can. See what the weather does. I wouldn't do that if the track is dry. But given that the track is wet, I'm going to stick with that. So let's just speed it up, because I'm not going to really tweak the strategy at this point. And Pankiewicz doing a lot worse on the fuel conservation front, which is interesting, because they were both about the same earlier. You can see Hughes doing much better now, and I think he's improved his driving abilities where she really hasn't. I think that's causing that change, which is just going to accelerate the difference between the drivers. She's at 4.5, and he is still at 10. He's just driving an absolutely amazing race. Holding in 5th. Gradually losing ground to Friends. But well ahead of, Panis, Shedden, Hamola. So I may slip to 6th. That would still be a heck of a thing. And he might just be able to get through this without switching down to low on the tires. So I don't see any reason to... We're not going to hold off Friends anyway. Ardennes catching us now as well. Just be cautious. It looks like Pankiewicz has settled in behind Nagy and Richard, which is unfortunate. Friends colliding with Pankiewicz right behind Hughes. And Friends is now going to be called for the collision. So that's huge for us, because we should be able to maintain at least 6th now. No sign of weather changing. Continue to conserve the tires. We're a third of the way through the race. Hughes still in 5th. Friends going into the pit. Pankiewicz's best lap and is all the way up to 20th. After I'd basically given up on that. So just, yeah, up to 6.6, 6.7. She's just decided to drive better. Okay. Still want to stick with conserving on the tires, even though she might be able to get another spot there. So Pankiewicz about 2.5 seconds behind Hughes. Don't know if we're going to hold that or not. I can't believe I'm this far into the race and less than 10 seconds off the lead, though. Hughes now dropping off, 8.5. Driving like a mere mortal. I think he's going to just make it on fuel, and Pankiewicz is not. But overall, both of them still driving very well. Temperature is getting warmer. The tires are going to heat up a little bit, or not cool off as fast, or whatever. But we have no sign of the rain going away. It's going to hold in solid intermediate territory. And now Pankiewicz right behind Hughes. I have no use, or was, I have no useful way of holding that off that I know of. Again, I could push the tires, but I don't think it's worth it. And now Pankiewicz, the better driving person. It is edged just into wet territory and is going to get a little bit wetter. But again, the rain continues, showing no signs of stopping. And I don't think Pankiewicz is going to make it much past the halfway point, thanks to that lockup she had. I thought Pankiewicz was going to take it there. Probably should have, but did not. Okay, tires now getting low enough. We've got to go push for a brief period. Couple more drivers locking up. Switch back to neutral. Didn't really gain us any distance. Ardennes still right behind, and Pankiewicz up to 9.7. But unable to get by Nagy, Katzberg. So just sort of stuck in traffic, very much unfortunately. Hughes down to 7.5, merely quite good, but is holding off Ardennes still. Lock up by Katzberg. You see, like, the overall water on the track is going to go down, it says, but It's not actually going to stop raining. But it does look like a lowering amount of rain. And I think Hughes is definitely going to have enough fuel now, and actually even a little bit extra. So let me just do a brief period here. And I do mean brief. That's all I think I can get away with. Just trying to do whatever I can to keep him in that 5th spot as his effectiveness as a driver continues to drop. Friends locking up. Down in 10th, 11th position. And Hughes now less than 2 seconds back on Bonani as we're starting to track that down. Well, the rain is going to stop. But it is going to be too late for us. What kind of a gap do I have between my drivers? 28 seconds. That's more than enough. Maybe if I had conserved the whole time I would have made it. But I'm going to have to stop. So let's just have Hughes come in. Switch tires. Balance stop. Have Pankiewicz come in. I don't see a point in waiting with our tires this low. I could have made it longer, but not. I couldn't have made it that far. And now we can go aggressively on these tires. Try to get through traffic if we're able. Of course, this is going to slow Hughes down, pushing him back in traffic. But I don't know that there was a great alternative. Pankiewicz back in last. Might as well drop her back to neutral because she's quite a ways behind. We'll go ahead and switch back to neutral here. Give Hughes' tires some breathing room. I'm hoping he can get by some of these cars. I think we're definitely looking at a super soft stint to finish. It'll be less than 10 laps, yeah. One stint of super softs to finish this off. And Hughes looking to be stuck. Stuck in the slower, slightly slower traffic. Oriola's tire, Philippi right ahead. Tire's really starting to become an issue. Should be able to make that pass soon. Boy, thought I might make it there. That definitely didn't happen. Maybe I should have stayed out a few laps longer. I would have had to come in, but I could have waited, gained some more time on these drivers. That might have been better. I'm not really gaining enough tire temp to do anything with here. Pankiewicz's tires seem to be cooling a little bit faster, which is unusual. There's Hughes trying to get to the inside of Philippi. Not making it, but then actually making it here, I think. Let's, no, that was a terrible turn, Jake. Terrible turn there. You had it and you blew it. Really should start gaining some time here these last few laps of wet track, because the other cars have cruddy tires. Yeah, okay, now they're going to start stopping, and Hughes locks up. What the heck? Goodness, see if you can at least stay ahead of the ones that are chasing you down now. Driving at 7. Pankiewicz driving at 10. And gradually catching the cars ahead. I still would thought like I would benefit more from these fresher tires. Hughes up to 12th. Several cars pitting, and will be equal number of pits with all of those. Oh, well, they're going out on soft tires, so we won't, but on the other hand, they're going to be really slow here for a brief period. Few laps. I don't see that benefiting them overall. Depends on how many laps like this they're doing. So I'm very curious to see how this shakes out once we come in for our final stop. Don't want to go for this quite yet. Okay, yeah, if Oriola's coming in, I've got to wait. Other cars coming into pit. This is the time to use a little more fuel. And we're getting some repairs done. That's the first one I've noticed today. Hughes trying to get to 5th, but I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, yeah, it is. Not for a super long time, but it's happening. Let's do a short burst from Pankiewicz, who is up to 12th. Okay, then the question is, when do we come in? Well, the rain is still out there, so it's not yet. 5th and 12th, we're going to lose positions from that point. Here comes De Silvestro, Decker, and Panis repairing. That's another spot we can get and almost certainly keep. We're pulling away some from the cars on Super Softs. That's still happening. Hughes up to 3rd. Decker coming out behind. And not quite keeping pace with us because, again, of the track. So 3rd and 11th. We're not going to keep it, but this would be our first. We would still be in 6th. Hughes would go up to 9th, but first pole finish. Or not pole, podium finish. Okay, the rain has stopped. Now, the question of the day is, do we go around one more time? And I think we can see Decker behind us, has picked up some of the distance. So I think we have to come in now. Oh my, this is pretty tense stuff. Both cars are going to switch now to Super Softs from 3rd and 11th. Because we're no longer faster than the dry cars. Oh, come on! I did not need that. So Hughes out in 9th. Pankiewicz 21st. And I think Hughes might have finished up another spot or two if I had stayed out a little bit longer the first pit stop, but also might not have. I'm not sure about that. See, I think I've got a little bit more fuel to burn with him. What's the temperature? Because it feels like, yeah, okay, let's go push with both drivers on the tires. Because Pankiewicz being pressured, Hughes being pressured. Giovinardi looks like he's going to win. De Silvestro in 2nd. Hughes in 9th. And that would keep us in 7th place overall, and Hughes would drop to 11th. Boost the fuel burn a little bit with Pankiewicz. Go back to neutral. burn a little bit more there. Reliability of the cars is fine. So we got about a quarter of the race to go. "21 degrees, it's drying out. Looking like we're pretty comfortably set in our positions. Hughes not driving as well as he was before, obviously. Pankiewicz still driving well. And I think we just basically qualified our way into another top 10 finish. The water not wanting to quite go away. We're going to get a little bit of grip, it looks like, the last few laps. That's it. And the temperature now pretty neutral with the tires. So I think we just keep rolling on like this. Pankiewicz is gaining on the other cars. Gaining quite a bit, actually. Be interesting to see if she can make a pass or two, get into the top 20. Hughes down to 4.2. Oriola went wide, was in 12th. Hughes' fastest lap, 6 laps to go. Right back to where we were at one point earlier, trying to hold off Pankiewicz. Pankiewicz riding behind Nagy, which has happened quite a bit, actually, this race. You can see there's a procession here of 3 cars. It'd be nice for her to be able to make that pass. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. At least she's right there putting the pressure on, so there's hope. And Hughes now pulling away a little bit, perhaps. Losing ground still, but as long as that stays over a second, oh, there it goes. So much for that. He is driving better, though. He was up in the 4s, he's up in the 5s now, so hoping that that's enough. Doesn't look like it. Just enough for now. We don't have the fuel, we don't have the tires. Pankiewicz just faster, and we've just got to hope that that goes away. Yeah, Pankiewicz driving the way Hughes was driving earlier, 10.0. seems to be, and I don't know if this is a thing, but it seems to be a lot easier in the fire mod to get really, really high or really, really low form numbers. There's a lot less variability, I would say, in driver performance in vanilla. 3 laps left. And Pankiewicz, again, right behind that group. Doesn't look like going to get into him. And now Hughes up to 7 point whatever, but also dropping back to 10th. And that will drop him back to 12th in the overall. And as a team, we're going to be dropping back to 8th. Unfortunate to see that happen after being on the pole, but not a shocker. We actually pit more than the others. If we had stretched it out and pit a couple 3 laps early and pit on supers, that might have been better. Oh my, it looks like Hughes may not get any points at all now, as Berman almost got by, didn't quite. There's only 2 laps to go. The chance to hold, nope. Hughes back to 11th now. Avison 12th for Hughes, 8th for Racing. Well, only so much you can do there. And Pankiewicz still sitting right behind Nagy. '11th and 21st, still not horrible. We only had a couple of the opponent cars repairing. So clearly, until we get some of these other parts boosted, it's still not quite at the pace we need to be. Closed the gap, but haven't gotten there yet. So Hughes is happy. Pankiewicz will not be. Nope. Yuck. And Giovanardi with the win. De Silvestro finishing 2nd. Decker in 3rd. And all kinds of penalties handed out. Yep. Giovanardi gets the win and the fastest lap. We at least got the pole. Hughes ends up in 11th, tied with Panis. De Silvestro, of course, the runaway leader. Yes, and we slide to 8th. Still trying to hold on to respectability, but not so much. Just sliding a little bit these last couple races. So we're continuing to get some little boosts. You can see so close for Hughes to getting that next consistency boost. We're getting nothing from Pankiewicz because she still is waiting for that top finish. 7.2 equaling her best form of the year, and yet it was her worst finish. 7.4 was his best drive, and yet an average 11th. You can see we're just slipping as the year goes on because we don't have the reliability advantage as much over the other teams. Finished 8th in this race out of 12. Marketability sliding just a hair. On the other hand, we made all of our bonuses, almost 1.7 million. That's some nice money making. And Dubai will be up next as we wrap up the first half of the year. I'm hoping we're going to have our new spoiler in place by then. That would be nice to give us a little bit more speed, at least for one of the cars. Moving on to probably the brakes after that. And then we're going to be looking at another vote coming up. Probably getting the new staff center done soon. Lots of fun things going on. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll be back soon for Dubai. More Motorsport Manager coming up soon.